ADHD. When did I see? I can't even concentrate.
Yeah. When did you get diagnosed?
Oh, I got diagnosed when I was probably in high school, but I never paid attention to it. Really, I never paid attention to the diagnosis because I was just like, yeah, I just want to, smoke pot, drink, go out to raves, and meet women and write and stuff like that. Yeah. I couldn't focus on being focused. No. So if anyone just, we're talking about ADHD, and you, both of you, magnificent women, just got diagnosed with ADHD. Please tell us about that before we start the show.
I know. Well, I always thought that there wasn't something completely right with me. Yeah. And the fact that I always stay up super late, and everyone always says, why are you up so late?
Just a night owl.
Yeah. I've always been a super night owl. I can talk, as you all know, well know, Nick, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I went to the local NHS, but here, unless you're down and out, you can't hold your life together, they wouldn't send me to an assessment.
Yeah, unless you're very chaotic, disorganized, then naturally they just think that you've just got to get on with it.
Yeah, which isn't fair because we have an NHS that should be for everyone. Mm-hmm. So we both paid for private assessments. Mine was in April and Louisa's was in October.
Yeah.
And that's how we both found out. So
yeah.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
I think you always know, and I think as you get older, you're like, I just want to know. It's not going to change me. It's not going to change who we are, but it's really important to have that diagnosis because, especially like, having children or, if you want children in the future, there is a high chance that they may have ADHD and, it's good to have that family history there as well.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce two legends, absolute legends in the kink community. I am honored, so honored to have them on the show and to call them friends. Seriously, they've been on the show before and the stars have aligned. I mean, something is going on in this world to make this beautiful connection happen. They found each other. Please welcome Miss Jessica Wood and Miss Lady Louisa. Everything we say, everything we talk about is for consenting adults. We are adults. We're consenting adults. It's nothing to do. This is not to do with minors. We're consenting adults. This is a lifestyle. It's a culture. Don't judge.
Yeah.
Don't judge. That's why you're unhappy, because you're so judgy. So don't judge. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, we are honored. Bow down. Show your respect and ask questions. Please welcome the magnificent Miss Jessica Wood and Miss Lady Louisa. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Happy Sunday.
What is happy Sunday? So I have to ask you this: what's inspiring you these days?
What's inspiring us these days?
I think sort of expanding in terms of loyal fans is a big one at the moment. And then obviously always getting busier and busier on tours as well, which is really important. Every time you do a tour, you always want to pick up an irregular or two.
Yeah.
So that's good. And, we're always looking at different role play ideas with clips and things.
Yeah.
So different things.
Yeah.
Now, double doms, you two, you're in the UK. And you do double dom sessions. You've known each other. You've been in the scene. You're both successful. You didn't have to come together, but you did.
No.
Really awesome. It is. I mean, this is what I live for. As like a journalist, as a kinky person, I love seeing kinky people come together and do something creative. We are all witnessing something beautiful right here. So let's just start it off. What are the key elements to double teaming a sub?
Being the same kind of style of dom.
Yeah.
That's definitely essential. Like doing the same kind of fetishes that you like a lot and things that you don't like, you don't do. And so
I think a similar approach to how you treat your clients as well, and in the way that you are as a person, your attitude. And,
yes. Oh yeah, you've got to like them,
and we're both very harsh but very lovely at the same time. So we've got that good balance, and I think it just complements each other as well. Yeah.
Yes, and also, like we said, finding someone you like as well. That's also
Yeah,
highly
that's it. I
key.
think once you click with someone, that's it, isn't it? And we met through an event, and yeah, I seen her smoking away with her roll-ups, and I was like, she's going to be my cup of tea. Just very down to earth, very chilled. You know, she didn't have this sort of chip on her shoulder or, you know, an attitude. She was just very welcoming and opening as a person.
And I do sessions in Birmingham, and I have done for about 11 years now. When I met Louisa, she said she was from Birmingham and she had somewhere in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. And then she offered to let me come and use the place when I came down.
Yeah.
And so I did one of those by myself. And then I said, well, it makes sense for us to do sessions together, doesn't it? And so we're like, so then we've done that ever since, basically.
Yeah.
We have the chat is blowing up.
We just read it.
Miss Jessica has the most insane bum.
Oh.
So what does it feel like to have an insane bum, Miss Jessica?
I've always had an insane bum, and do you know, years and years ago, I hated my bum. Everyone's going to be like, oh, why? But back then in the fashion, in like, you know, early 2000s, it was this like micro bum, the Kylie bum, the bum that disappeared and was just like legs and everything.
Yeah.
So I used to hate my bum. And I remember this boyfriend of mine saying, you can see your bum through your legs. And I was like, is that not normal? And he's like, no. And so he's made me really paranoid about it. But then J-Lo came around. Yeah. And then that changed everything.
J-Lo, and then obviously like Nicki Minaj, you know, and it's all about curves and it's all about having, you know, a big bum. And, you know, I've always had a decent sized bum, to be honest. I've always had a nice round bottom. I've never had a flat ass. So,
but mine was particularly meaty. And
yours just go straight.
I know,
to the ass.
Yeah, in lockdown, when I put on 2 stone, the size of my arse. there's some videos I did called lockdown videos, with face sitting, and my bum is ginormous in them. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's got a bit smaller since then, but
and I always get the breasts. Are they real? I'm like, yeah, they are actually.
They're insane.
They're actually real, and yeah, I'm happy with them. Yeah.
Stuart Sternlieb says, I like to buy you 2 face-sitting custom. So do you do face-sitting customs?
We do any kind of customs.
Yeah, face-sitting,
Yeah, we did one the other day, didn't we? Yeah. You can do any kind of face-sitting CP, whatever. We do custom videos as long as we like the sound of them.
Yeah, as long as we enjoy doing them. If it's something that we don't enjoy, then obviously not.
The sound of face-sitting. Yes. Someone should capture that, put it on a podcast.
That'd be very quiet.
You'd be surprised. Kinky people, they'll buy it. They'll be like,
Well, while we're talking about face sitting, there's so many platforms now that won't allow it, which is a big hoo-ha.
Let's talk about that. First of all, face sitting or face sitter. Is face sitting a privilege? Yes or no?
I mean, some people say it is, but to me, it's more about the control and the breath play. For me, it's not the sexual side of it. It's more about I'm controlling you. I'm taking your breath away. You are beneath me. So naturally, you are lucky to be beneath me, but it's not about being sexy or, you know, that kind of sensual face sitting. That's not what we do. It is more about controlling your breath.
Yeah, no, it's not a privilege. People can come along. Anyone can come. Don't have to be a king. That's fine.
It's not one of those where it's like a select few. Obviously, as long as they're respectful, it's fine.
Yes. Face sitting.
Back to duo doms. I romanticize the fetish community. I romanticize everything. So I'm always thinking like in movies. So I am in my head. I'm constructing the scene of your very first duo dom session. It's the very first professional one. I mean, if you've met each other, you talk to each other, everything's cool. But now, boom, it's your first time. Please tell us about your very first duo dom session.
I don't remember.
I know. I'm trying to think as well.
We've got ADHD, so it's difficult to remember.
It's in and out. You remember for the time, but then once it's unnecessary, it goes.
Was it spit roasting, strap on? I think it might have been.
Yeah.
So it was strap on, which to be fair, we don't do that much of. So it was actually okay, fair enough. But it was with one of my regulars, and I trust him, and he really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
So when you bring someone new into the session, like for example, Mary Louisa, you already have a regular. They're used to it, and then you're like, well, I have a friend. named Miss Jessica Wood. So what is their reaction? Are they automatically excited? Are they terrified? Are they like, I'm sure
Yeah,
that
probably a bit of both, but I feel like if they click, they click, and if they don't, they don't. So it's the same as, you know, any other session in that sense. You're not always going to click with everybody, but you know, most people you do click with and they do come back, and some people try it and say it's not for them, and that's fine. I think it's important to remember that some people will try it and then realise as well, even if they've tried it a few times with a few different people, they may click with some and not others. And then they may just prefer one-to-one. I mean, that's the main thing. They just would like to have one-to-one, and it is very expensive for them. And they'd rather be spending that extra money just on that one person. But I think most people do like to indulge in it, and it is very popular. So
it's quite intimidating having two girls, isn't it? Because one, you can kind of get away from a little bit, but two, not so much.
Well, we had a sissy yesterday, and she didn't know what to do because she just couldn't cope with two of us, too much going on for her, and she's an older lady, so yeah, don't want to give her a heart attack.
No, so please tell us what happened.
Well, she's
that's an interesting one.
She's an older, like I say, she's an older sissy. She's been dressing and enjoying sissy play for many years, and she's in her 70s now. And so her mobility is not great, but her enthusiasm is there. So she just couldn't multitask between both of us, unfortunately. So
yeah, and that's what comes with age. So one thing I think about double doms, we're all getting older. And we all need help, right? We all need help.
No, you're never too old, never.
But we all need a little help from our friends. So that's why the double dom thing is not only a personal, like, I've been a fan.
Well, that's it, because I've just got over a viral infection, the flu. It's the UK weather. So obviously I've been feeling a little bit, you know, not 100%. And that's why it's good when you're doing a double, because the other one can sort of take the lead a little bit more. And it's a little bit easier, and you sort of help each other more.
Yeah, and you can, while one person's doing one thing, the other person can be getting ready for the next thing. So it's more seamless as well. So rather than just having to wait in the corner.
If anyone needs a toilet break or a water break or whatever, then the other one just carries on.
And what's interesting is that the camaraderie and the connection of, like, the rhythm that each has, you know what's going to happen next. You could tell the sub doesn't, but you know the other dominant.
Yeah,
pretty
depends
beautiful.
on what we're doing. You can just end up just bouncing off each other, and it goes quicker. It feels like the session goes quicker, which is what you want.
One of the things that we talk about, and I've seen you online, is events. You know, so there are events that you go to, you got to promote yourself. I can imagine seeing strength in numbers. So you walking into an event or just being involved with each other, knowing that, like, if someone messes with you, they're messing with the other person too. And vice versa, you know, in a beautiful sense. So, you know, walking in with a crew of people or just a partner adds confidence, adds strength, adds a whole different dynamic. So what are events like now, and what events can we see you at?
Well, Louisa does loads of different events.
Funny enough,
I don't. Well, we'll let Louisa talk.
I have stopped doing as many events because I'm prioritizing my sessions, my regulars, and also doing my tours, because naturally that's what brings me the most money, and that's what it's all about. I do enjoy going to the occasional event, but I'm more selective in terms of, if I'm going to go to an event once or twice a year and make an effort, then it needs to be something that I haven't gone to before. So I'd like to try new events with my partner or a couple of close kink friends. But yeah, we did have a group chat that was called The Crew at one point, particularly when I was younger, and I'd go to a lot more events, but I just don't have the time anymore. And it's nice to go and help friends and engage and stuff like that, but I feel like, well, you can just go to the pub or go for a cocktail to catch up with somebody. You don't have to go to a kink event to catch up with kink friends. That's kind of how I look at it. That being said, I do enjoy doing smaller events with other ladies that have mutual interests. Usually 3 or 4 of us will get together and we'll do a party, usually for an afternoon, an evening, or even overnight. And then we'll invite some slaves, and it becomes like a little intimate party then, maybe between 10 and 15 people rather than 100 people.
We were talking about doing another strap-on party next year, because we did one, was it last year? Or the year before?
The year before.
Yeah.
But yes, you know, even Impact Party, I think would be good because we both enjoy Impact. You know, so there's lots of different things, and obviously you do enjoy a bit of sissy play as well. So you know, there's lots of possibilities. But I think it's more about the quality rather than the quantity. We'd rather have 6 to 8 loyal slaves rather than you know, lots of people in which won't come back. You want the regulars to keep coming back to the party. It's the same way they do to the doubles.
It makes a difference. That's why I go to Mischief Manor. Shout out to Mr. Shari, Catnip, and everybody at Mischief Manor. It's a small place. I mean, it's 3 floors, but there's only on average anywhere from 15 to 30 people at once. And there's the core people, and then there's the average people who come in and out. You know what I mean? But it's the core people that really make a difference. The people make the event, and you don't have to have huge. You know, this is the kink community. We got to keep it kind of cool and secret. You know what I mean?
And I used to go to events when I was younger, but now I'm just too busy, like Louisa said.
This is it. When I was in my early 20s, I had a bit more time on my hand, but the more and more established you get, you've got regulars, and, you know, I've got a partner, and we are also in a kink relationship, and we met through the scene. So I have to make time for our kink as well. And, you know, and on top of all the vanilla plans, it's really difficult to say, I'm going to give up X amount of weekends to go to an event. I haven't got the energy for it, have you? No.
And people don't realize that it is work.
I think the only way we would consider it is if it was with someone that we knew and it was a local event and they were willing to pay us or take us out for a nice dinner. If it was, you know, you might think, okay, I'll pop into an event with a client for a couple of hours, or, you know,
and never any in Watford though.
But that's the thing, there isn't any in Watford. I mean, there's a few near me, but I haven't even got the time at the moment. And what little time I do have, I want to indulge in my own kinks as well.
Now, how is working an event as a double dom, as a team, basically? And you don't even have to be at the same event, but you are a team. So therefore, I would assume that there's a kind of confidence and strength involved. Is that true? How is it different than working just alone?
Well, I think there's a little bit more to communicate, isn't there? Because you've got to communicate a little bit more, and you've also got to plan outfits and the setup of the session, and you've got to communicate in terms of if her client or my client is late, we have to sort of make arrangements for the clients coming after that. So there can be a lot going on at once.
Outfits, coordinating outfits. That's interesting. I've a fetish for lingerie.
Thing. I'm like, always, what are you wearing?
I know, but I love matching anyway. And we've got a similar style, like bodysuits, wet look, PVC, satin. So, yeah.
Now, one thing I'm fascinated with the UK. Ever since I was a kid, just music, art, film, television, and especially the BDSM culture. I always say that one of the first things that introduced me into BDSM culture was the movie Sid and Nancy, where there was a dominatrix, a man hanging from the ceiling, you know, and she's, you know, the Lindy, the dominatrix, and I'm like, what is that? I want to hang from the ceiling. You know what I mean? And since then, I personally have had a fetish for not just a fetish, but an interest in the UK.
So is that one of you then? Is it suspension and bondage?
Oh yeah, I'm just a kinky person. I love.
It's lovely to see in a film.
Have you noticed the wigs in the background?
Pardon me?
Have you noticed the wigs in the background?
Yes, I have. I'm very much, as you know, I'm very much into the whole femdom, sissification. I'm in chastity right now. I'm wearing garter belts and stockings right now under all this.
Well, I have got subversive. Chastity, so yeah.
Let's talk. All right, let's talk about that.
Oh, I had one that recently, for the first time ever, he went through chastity through an airport. He was texting me every minute of the way. He was so nervous that it was going to get set off. But it didn't. What happened? Completely fine. It was completely fine. But he was so nervous about going through airport security.
You can get cages now that you can get through the airport, like silicone ones and obviously plastic ones. But yeah, it's the metal ones you've got to be careful of.
Yeah, but that was quite funny.
Yeah.
So what is the best way to tease someone when they're in chastity?
Well, I was saying to you yesterday, I do a lot of chastity packages online, and I see a lot of and speak to a lot of people from America, from all over the world. I've been doing that for about 7 years. It really took off during lockdown, as you can imagine.
Yeah,
Everything went online. I won't go into too much detail about it because I think I've spoken to you a lot about it before, but basically they sign up for a package. It's a key holding package. You can go on to House of Denial and you can see my profile and stuff on there, and other ladies that obviously offer that service. But it's really good for somebody that wants like check-ins, and they want tasks and that engagement one-on-one. And obviously long distance as well. Long distance chastity is a big thing. And I think, yeah,
how do you make sure they don't cheat?
More online, aren't you, to an extent? Yeah.
How do you make sure they don't cheat online?
Wow, I'll tell you exactly how I do it.
Yeah.
So there's as you know, there's lots and lots of different packages, and there's lots of different ways that you can lock up your device. So you've got little key locks that you can change the PIN code every day and send me a picture that the PIN code is different every day. You cannot break these locks unless you're really, really determined to get it off. And then obviously you've got app control devices, which once you're locked on the app, you cannot get yourself unlocked without my finger.
But to be fair, I had someone once hacksaw their chastity off.
I think you will get the odd case. I've had one or two that have got the pair of pliers out. Let's be honest, it's not impossible to get it off, but you have to make it as impossible as possible. Yeah,
that's the dedicated slave with the hacksaw.
The dedicated slave with the dedicated. Oh, I got to start writing quotes now. I'm so into this interview. The dedicated slave with the hacksaw. Okay, we'll start off with that. So best way to all right, silicone, plastic, or metal?
Plastic or silicone, I think. I think they have better fit.
Yeah, I mean,
than the metal ones.
I think it depends really, because I like them all. I think they've all got their pros and cons.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I do like. Is it the Holy Trainer?
No, this is the Vice.
Oh yes, I have seen.
First, inescapable. How is it inescapable?
I have seen the Vice actually advertised.
It is. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess if you use like a hammer or a hacksaw.
There you go.
I personally
it's not inescapable.
Chastity. No, I mean, Chastity Queen made it. She's a friend of the show. She made a great quote about chastity. She goes, "The best chastity device is the one that fits."
Yeah.
I have a custom made mature metal for me, but all right, let's get back to the quote.
Whilst we're talking about chastity, just quickly, a lot of people have no idea how to measure their cage, and it's quite simple. So if anyone is out there that is struggling how to find the right fit, you can obviously get a tape measure, and you will find instructions on how to measure your cage. So don't just buy one. It's all about the ring size. Yeah,
definitely, yeah. And it makes a difference. The best chastity device.
It sounds like common sense, but if you're new to the scene, you're not going to know that. Yeah.
And if you're gonna just keeping it on for like an hour or two, if it doesn't fit, it's not gonna fit.
Pinching.
It's going to be very painful. Yeah.
Just get one that fits. And part of the fun, part of the romance of it is getting a one that fits, is fooling around. Oh, this one doesn't fit, that one doesn't. Oh, and having it not fit and finding the right one. It's all part of, I don't know, the romance of it. Which brings me to a question which I wanted to ask. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, basically said that, you live a different life, Nick. You live, you view it differently, where a lot of these people, they're doing it just for money, right? So, is romance dead in BDSM?
Romance dead. Oh, that is hard.
Right. Are we talking about lifestyle vs professional? Or is it
right? Just in general, a question. What is that question? How does it hit you?
Well, I think I could argue that question, to be honest, because I think, yes, you get paid to do a job that you love. And if you love BDSM and you're getting paid to do a job that you love, then you're not really having to work hard in your life, because you're just happy doing your job every day.
Exactly.
That's a great question. I mean, it's a great answer. That's such a great answer.
But then on the other side, I have seen on Twitter the amount of people complaining about how it's just findoms out there, and it's a lot of young girls just trying to get money off people without actually doing anything.
Yeah.
So that has now become extremely popular, and
there's a lot of scamming.
Yeah,
they do.
A lot of scamming, a lot of fake profiles.
Scam a lot of people, and it's more about education, because they don't understand what it's like to be a proper mistress. They think it's easy money, and it's not. It takes you years and years to get, you know, where you are. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to build your brand. There's a lot of blood, sweat and tears that goes into it. And you always have to constantly keep up to date with things and trends. And if you want to evolve, you have to push yourself. You don't just go online and stick your finger up and demand someone send you a bit of money.
Exactly. And there's so many. I mean, people are saying to me how they don't go on Twitter anymore because it's just spam and people trying to
and steal our photos and try and scam people as well is the big one.
Yeah, or X, if you want to call it that.
It's no, you're absolutely right. X specifically is become very anti-sex work, anti-racist, sexist, homophobic.
But it's owned by Musk, isn't it?
Yeah, it's become its own bubble, which is like originally it wasn't. It was like a bulletin board for the world. You know what I mean? And now it's becoming its own bubble. I went to Blue Sky, but everything's scattered now. You know, that's why I think it's
we've all joined Blue Sky.
I can't see it being as big, but maybe it will get a little bit more busier.
Yeah.
But that goes to my next question. Platforms. Platforms are constantly changing. We're constantly being kicked off. My whole Facebook, I have 10 years of Nicholas Tanek on Facebook from the beginning when I started writing the coolest way to kill yourself to the publishing to the everything to the beginning of this podcast. All of it gone. All of it. All of the everything. Every post I ever had.
Any reason, or just one day?
Yes, I had a group. There was spamming a group. Some person was causing trouble in a group, and that caused me because I'm associated with the group. And it was just literally just promoting sex stuff, like kink, the kink culture or something like that. Nothing unconsensual, nothing illegal. Just because it's sexual orientated, it gets kicked off of certain platforms. So, what platforms are really doing it for you these days? What platforms?
Well, I got kicked off OnlyFans last year.
We're going to talk about that.
September. Yeah, I know. Well, first of all, in the run up to the being banned, they kept deleting lots of my caning videos. They kept deleting lots of my face-sitting videos. Then about 2 weeks before they deleted me, I was in holiday in Menorca, and they're like, you've got 24 hours to give model releases for all of these.
Otherwise, we're closing down your account.
Well, it was or they're going to be deleted. So I lost because I was on holiday. What could I do? And
so it to me as well. So I deleted about 70 of my clips off there.
Oh no, I deleted. They deleted nearly everything. I think I was left with about 8 videos or something pathetic like that. Then I was talking to a regular person that I've talked to on there for years, and I just said to him, maybe you should come for a shoot one day. That was it. They banned me because they said that I was trying to meet someone. And I was like, for God's sake, this is someone who I've talked to for like loads of time. All I'm saying is come and be a model in one of my films.
There's no talk of money. There's no talk of when they're going to meet. It's just a general conversation.
Yeah. And then they said, no, that's it. Now you're banned. You tried to meet people. I'm like, for God's sake. So that was it. And I was like, that is it. And so I went to Loyal Fans after that. And Loyal Fans is so much better. Yeah. I haven't had anything banned. They tell you when you're writing, if there's a word in there that they don't like. So when you press OK, it'll be like, no, you can't put that. So you have to edit it straight away. And then they review it. And within 10 minutes, they'll put it up or not. And so I've never had anything not allowed on there.
Yeah, it's definitely all about Loyal Fans now, I would say, for authentic femdom stuff. It's always worth, if you have got an OnlyFans account, I've got mine. I don't use it. I keep it open. And that's only because if I work with other performers in the future and I need to use them for OnlyFans, but I don't use it anymore for the same reasons. They just won't allow serious kink anymore.
Yeah, it's like they wanted us all at the beginning, then they got popular, and now they're getting rid of us all.
Yeah,
and they just want all the easy fetishes.
I don't know if you remember before, like this whole OnlyFans, Loyal Fan things. There were certain websites that came and went. Tumblr, Color Me was, but Tumblr was one where it was all porn. Everyone was just porn stars and the dominatrixes and great. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. And no one used it. No one used it at all. All right. We got some questions or some comments. Man Patel says, hi, dear ladies. Thanks for the wonderful interview. I would like to ask Miss Jessica Wood that how BDSM scenario has changed since you started 20 years back.
That's a good one.
Not that long. It's only 5 years.
2 years.
Oh my word. Okay. I think the biggest change, I would say, is the age of people. And because when I first started, as he said, approximately, it's actually 22 years ago, nearly everyone was, I would say, at least 40 plus, between like 40 and 60.
Yeah.
And mostly it was a lot of spanking stuff as well. But then I think about 10 years ago, I had my first 18-year-old. And he was like, do you see 18-year-olds? And I'm like, of course I do. Yeah. I've just never had one. And ever since then, I've so many young people now under the age of 30. It's ridiculous.
Some of them you have to ask for the ID.
Yes, that one you saw the other day. I know she thought he was about 15, but he wasn't. He was 18. And so I think that is the most noticeable thing. And also the fact now, I thought that CP was going to be dying out. But now people are getting even older, and I've had my oldest client who is now 91.
Wow, 91.
So I've had the full range now from 18 to 91.
There you go.
So so I think that's my most noticeable thing is how more young people are into it.
Do you think it's the 91 person, the person who's 91? It's like a full circle thing, coming, for like finally, growing up. You were, in school and stuff like that, and bullied, and the whole spanking and corporal punishment. And growing up, it's like you don't get that. You have to, you know what I mean. So you need to fill that. Maybe, I don't know. We got some other questions. Stuart Sternlib, what favorite color satin panties? Do you have a favorite color satin panties?
Oh, do you know what? I'm a bit boring. I'm going to say black, but I like black and red. Yes.
Pink, baby pink, because it's so shiny.
Wow. Okay. Menstrual Sissy asks, for you, meaning both of you, is chastity more about increasing his frustration and sexual desire, or having him forget about his pleasure and focus on yours? Very good question, Menstrual Sissy. Thank you.
I say it really just depends on the person and the dynamic and how well that you know them and what they want to get out of chastity. But for me, it's more about focusing the brain and knowing that their penis doesn't exist. They are only there to serve you, and they need to forget about their own non-existent sex life anyway.
Yes. Yeah. No,
there's
I'd
no
agree.
other way of saying it.
I'd agree with that. Because, you lock it away because that's not important anymore. Yeah.
Retrain the brain.
Retrain the brain. There's so many. Oh my God, there's so many comments already. Get 50% off all inventory at Locked in Lust with offer code YKF. Go to yourkinkyfriends.com and support the Patreon at YKF. Patreon.com/. MJ Lover says Jess is so sexy.
Well, thanks.
Stranger Unknown says, oh my God, ball buster of Nadman, Miss Jessica Wood. Good to see you.
Ooh.
Good to see you. I think he meant to say good to see you live.
Live. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I love kicking Nabman's balls. He has immense, very strong balls. So
he looks like he can take a good kick in.
I know. I think we've lost Nicholas, haven't we?
I know.
Oh, look, here he comes.
Technical.
We lost you. We're just chatting without you. Oh, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You're quiet. Try again.
Hello.
Yeah.
Still a little bit quiet.
Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Yeah.
We're still quiet. You're going to have to shout.
I can't hear him. Can't hear you
We're old ladies now. Pardon?
What is one piece of advice you would give to younger doms? What is one piece of advice you would give to your younger dom self, just starting out down this path?
Ooh, what would I have given advice to me? Oh, I don't know.
That's a good one. It's put us both on the spot
I
there a little
know.
bit.
I would have said have more faith in myself, because for quite a long time I also worked in another job because I didn't feel that it was going to be sustainable to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And so I did that for quite some time, whereas now I look back and think, bloody shouldn't have done that.
Well, funny enough, we were actually talking about it yesterday. And it was similar for me. The kink was always my side hustle, and my only regret is not doing it full time sooner. Yeah. But that's a confidence thing, not thinking, will it cover my bills and etc.
Of course, we have Jackson saying he wants to be your in-house maid and he wants to be your slave, and then he also wants to be your toilet slave. And then he's asking, why isn't he he's asking me why I'm not asking his question, which is not a question.
He's got to be in England. Is he in England?
How many questions?
He might be in England. Oh, he does have a question. Will you spit on slaves? So Jessica.
Yes,
Madam,
I do.
I love spit on slaves.
Especially when it gets right in their eye.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything about it if they're tied up.
Yeah.
I kind of like that as a quote, especially when it gets right in their eye.
Yeah.
And I won't put what gets in their eye. I'm just going to put ... especially when it gets...
I know. Oh, so it's always nice and humiliating when that happens and they can't do anything about it.
All right, we got some more questions. What do you like to wear when you wrestle or smother someone?
Well, I was going to say usually like gym wear, isn't it? Like leggings and like shorts or high-waisted.
Yeah, leggings are very practical if they don't mind that. But then I've wrestled in all outfits.
I mean,
for videos, as long as they hoik up, you're fine.
I once actually did a wrestling session as Harley Quinn in a full Harley Quinn outfit. I don't know how I did it. This was years ago, but I was sweating. Absolutely sweating by the end of it. It was a good workout,
If we had a choice, leggings or shorts.
Or shorts, It's just more comfortable and thinner material as well.
Okay. Great. Oh my God, we missed up some of the questions because I had to exit out. So please forgive me on some of this, but BDSM in the UK. How would you say it's different from the rest of the world?
I think we do a lot more spanking over here, and also it's a lot like with a stricter style. I think
it's a lot more about old school traditional BDSM. It's not all about the latex as much as we do like latex. It's more about discipline rather than just being sexy and doing strap on all day. There's a lot more involved in terms of correctional punishment.
And I think because I've had a lot of people from Europe come over to England saying that a lot of DOMs over there all they are about the sexy times, and that's not what they're interested in.
I've had a couple that have said that. I had one that came from Germany, and there was another one that came from France, and I'm always flattered when people obviously travel that far, but it is because some of the ladies in their area might not exactly be meeting their exact needs.
And I think, I had a guy, literally, he came over from Denmark. He came over the morning, did the session, went back in the afternoon.
That's the one did France. The one from France, she came, had a sissy makeover and a spanking session, and she went straight back to France.
Yeah, and I think, and I think they like our English accents as well. Right. It sounds posher, doesn't it?
And I had one ask me who came over from Russia. He was like, where can I go? And I said, how long are you here for? It was like 3 days. So I was giving him a list of everywhere around the UK that he can go. And I also obviously said there is a few kink events as well if you want to, like Club Pedestal, and there's a few places in London if you want to go and have a kink event whilst you're over here. And he was just blown away the amount of kink events in the UK. He didn't even realise that there was that many. And he was like, oh, I'm going to go to this one and this one whilst I'm here. So when they come over here, they don't just embrace sessions, they embrace the whole BDSM culture.
I think we're quite, well, we're not quite, we're very open-minded in England about fetish.
You can go to a restaurant wearing latex and nobody will blink an eyelid, like it's normal.
Yeah.
I've been out in latex before.
Yeah, and like when I've had like cross-dressers or sissies and we've gone out into town, because they've wanted a brave doing it, and I'm like, no one's going to bat an eyelid nowadays. No, you know, literally, you know, 6 foot tranny in heels, no one bats an eyelid at now. Do you know what I mean? It's
nobody
like,
cares.
Yeah. Whereas I feel in America, some parts that may not be the case.
If you're in old school rural America, that would not be allowed, and it obviously would be a bit more surprising over here if you was more in a sort of like villagey area. But generally speaking, if you're in quite a liberal area, then most people don't care. Yeah.
In America, it depends on the cities.
Yeah, I can imagine.
City, you know, LA, New York City, Portland, Oregon are doing amazing things. You know, but there's other pockets in America that are doing amazing things in the kink community. But there are those pockets in America that are extremely racist.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
Misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, every family's got their people, right? that's
it. So I don't really find that in England. Yeah.
We kink on. So let me ask you this: with I don't want to get too political, but it's definitely there's a shift going on, right? With the political election, everything like that. How is the UK kink scene changing? Is it changing? I don't know.
Getting better.
I know. I don't think so.
No,
I think it's just getting better.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. The only thing that's getting worse is online. You know, with all different videos and words you can't use, and now somebody's got to not be tied up fully. They've got to only have one arm left free or something.
It's definitely getting a little bit more controlled in terms of the strictness of what you can post and what you can't post. The rules and regulations are always changing, and I think there definitely is becoming a lot more like catfishes and people stealing content a lot more. I work with a company called Brandit Scan, which is all about protecting your content. You pay them yearly or monthly and it protects your content. So there is obviously things that are getting worse, but overall, in terms of like being busy and both of us doing well, I think, you know, it's always going to be there and it's always going to be successful. It's just there is challenges in our way sometimes naturally that we have to get past. Yeah.
Andy Smith has a question. Do you think school scenes in the maternal scene will eventually die out with aging population?
I hope not, because I love it.
Never.
I love the schoolgirl stuff and the schoolboy stuff. I love the ABDL stuff. I think we've spoken about that a little bit before. So I hope that it doesn't die out. Definitely not.
And I've got lots of younger guys, like I've got a 25-year-old who's absolutely mad on hard caning. So you know, so he's not going to die out anytime soon.
Wants to be a naughty schoolboy for headmistress. He's not going to retire.
Yeah, I do find the majority of my clients that like the harder punishments are older, but they just seem to be coming when they're older now. And, you know, I thought maybe they'd cut off about 70.
I've got one next week that's about 77. So
yeah. But I've got quite a few in the late 70s, 80s, and that one guy who's 91.
There you go.
They'll keep going.
What about this?
Someone in Cardiff, he said he's 93 and he was interested in having a double with us at some point. 93.
Oh my God, we can hit a new record. I'm going to Cardiff.
Whether he's genuine or not, we don't know. But 93 is a bloody good age.
That would be.
It is. I mean, I was sick. I had to do a liver transplant, and that made me face mortality. Made me think of how am I going to grow old? You know what I mean? And I have to admit, watching you too and seeing you doing your thing, just like living life and being successful at it, you make me want to be a better man, right? As an American too, I want to be a better man. I want to be well-rounded. I want to be thoughtful, respectful, successful and everything like that. So as an American, how can I support BDSM in the UK? How can Americans support people like you?
Buy our clips.
Well, it is that. Yeah. No, it is that.
Come
simple.
And see us.
It's
fly over and come and see us.
You know, book sessions, and going back to if you can't book sessions, then buy our clips. pay for an online custom video, those sort of things. Obviously, online chat packages or phone chats, video sessions. There's lots of different ways. And, you know, I mean, I pretty do a lot of things online, and you do most things online as well, in terms of custom clips as well. So, you know, there is a way of supporting both of us and individually. If you can't make it over, then there is other ways. And I actually do really appreciate chatting to people from America online all the time. And I think they just love the British accent, to be honest.
I know. Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Quite a few
I
videos
can't
from
front.
American people as
Same,
well. Yeah. Custom
You
videos.
got me open.
My longest custom
Seriously.
video was for American, and that was for a whole hour.
Wow.
What?
That's a film.
So I did a custom video for American client, and it's the longest one I've ever did, probably about 6 months ago now, but I remember it because even though it was an hour, it took about 2 hours with all the stopping and starting and changing outfits, and it was all about role play and lots of like leather and gloves and corporal punishment, and just talking about what I'd do to him if he was to fly over, that sort of thing. But you don't realize the effort that goes into making such a bespoke customized video to somebody, and then the lighting and the editing afterwards.
Angles.
But he clearly had a lot of disposable income, and he was newly divorced, or, you know, from what he said, this was his chance to enjoy himself and indulge in kink. And he brought custom videos, and it started off with 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it was like, I'd like an hour. And he'd also buy me the outfits for the video, so I got new outfits as well.
Even better.
Yeah.
So I'm telling everybody out there, support custom clips. What you're doing is you're creating art. You're helping to create art. And just because it's of a sexual nature, that doesn't mean it's not art. It's still art. You know what I mean? So support, please. We got some questions. Smarak dash, excuse me. Is there any rituals or protocols your slaves have to follow?
Be clean. All areas.
Yeah.
That's probably the main one, isn't it?
I say be clean, and obviously all the normal stuff that you would expect if you're going to be seeing somebody, which is polite, respectful, good punctuation. One thing that does bug us is when people turn up early or try to come in early.
Oh my God. That's my pet hate.
Yeah. When we're between sessions, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, because you're busy rushing around. You just want that bit of free time to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't turn up to your doctors 15 minutes earlier. They won't see you, will they? So,
Yeah.
you know, why do you do it to anyone else?
That's what I say.
Messes up the flow.
Early, it's your job to wait outside and not start messaging saying, can I come up? Can I come up? Because the answer
is no.
Yeah.
And anticipation is part of the whole process, right? Wait.
Exactly. I know. I've got a ring doorbell now, so yeah, I'll just tell them if they're more than 10 minutes, I'll be like, go away.
Yeah.
Well, it is the holiday season, and Stuart Sternlieb asks, what gifts do you two want for the holidays?
Ooh, holiday to the Maldives, please.
I'm not going to say no to Barbados.
Couple of good holidays.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So,
Being generous. I mean, I did have somebody once that had his own holiday company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be handy.
Holiday company.
Yeah.
All right. So this is
holiday company slave that can just book us unlimited holidays. That'd be great.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Maldives is where I want to go most, I think. So yeah, that will do.
Stuart Sternlieb asks, do you like men kissing your ass cheeks?
Of course. I love bottom worship. I do loads of it, actually. I find it very relaxing. And bottom wobbling. That's a particular favorite. But yeah, you have to lay right down flat and then someone wobble. It's so relaxing. I've got to be careful I don't fall asleep.
Oh, I'm going to bobble wobble tonight.
Yeah, you have to, but it only works on a wobbly bum like mine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Bobble wobble. That's yes.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a bobble wobble for Christmas 2024. Yeah. Shmark Dash says, what do you both like about key holding? What is the longest you have kept a sub locked up?
Ooh, to you.
I think I've said it to you last time, up to a year, a whole year. And that's no orgasm, no orgasms, no denial. the same slave is back in chastity at the moment for 6 months, and he's only allowed out of chastity if he's working for me. So I do put him to work in sissy bi sessions, and he is used as the male slave. So the only time he's allowed out of his chastity essentially is to make me money and to do as he's told, and then he's put straight back in to the device.
That's very
So
impressive.
when
I
he
haven't
is-
had anyone that long.
But
He's
when
a
he is left out,
Yeah,
when
that
he's
is
working
rare.
and when he's working and left out of chastity for that brief period of time, what is his release like? I mean, is it a ruined orgasm? Is he meant to be used as a top? Or is he meant to be used as a
Well, the good thing about him
bottom?
is he is generally very submissive, but he's also, I would say, the term alpha submissive. So he has got it in him. If he needs to be dominant, he has got that in him. So he can do both. He can do top and bottom. So as long as he sort of pleases the male slaves or sissies that are enjoying forced bi, because that's what it's all about. Well, you're not allowed to say forced anymore. It's all encouraged.
Encouraged.
Encouraged. I'm
Encouraged.
showing my age now. So yeah, as long as it's all consensual and they're happy with him, and most of them are. I mean, we did a bi day together last week, and that was amazing. And we've had so many good reviews about that.
I love seeing people come together. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Man Patel, do you have any rituals for getting ready, and how do you cool down for your own aftercare?
Don't you, when you're getting ready?
Getting ready. Yeah, it's all, well, I always just yeah, it's about getting your makeup on, and then yeah, getting everything ready. Sometimes I like to get the room ready the night before so that I'm not stressing out. Yeah, because if there's too much going on in your brain, especially now I know I've got HD, yeah, because mine's specifically HD out of ADHD, so it's hyperactive disorder.
Mine's the AD, which is more the concentration.
So you're perfect for each other.
Together, yeah. And so so I can tend to get just over, like my heartbeat could just go way too fast, so I have to like calm myself down.
Just like moving everything around really quickly. Within the space of 10 minutes, you'll have a chair here, a desk here, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
I have to keep doing stuff. I'm like a lion pacing in the zoo. Do you know what I mean? What, before I'm waiting for someone to get there, like I'm like, oh, I'll take some photos for Law fans, or I'll do something else.
Very good at multitasking though when you've got it.
Yeah, and then cooling down. Yeah, just nice cup of tea.
Nice cup of tea.
What kind of tea? What kind of tea?
Oh, just standard tea, English breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Preferably Yorkshire tea for me.
Oh, really? Oh no, my tea is weak and pathetic, like my men.
She'll take the PG.
It's literally, I like it beige. So yeah.
My tea is that's a quote. Pathetic, like my men. Oh, that's great. All right. Lauren Sissy asks, during a session, sub can wear mask, but do you have a face preference as doms wear no masks or sub show no face? So do you ever have any preferences when it comes to masks? Like they have to wear a mask?
No, I don't. I'm easygoing. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people prefer wearing them, some others don't.
Yeah, someone wanted to try one yesterday for the first time. I've probably been seeing them about 6 years.
Yeah.
And so I had this rubber pig mask. Oh my God. And he loves humiliation, but I literally could not stop laughing at him. And like, because when he was breathing in, it had 2 little holes for the piggy nose. So every time he breathed in, the nose went.
Yeah. It makes it add to the snort.
And
I'm sure he loves that you laughing at him.
I know. What's that? Sorry.
He loves you laughing at him.
Yeah. So it was the perfect mask. So
perfect humiliation session for that.
Yeah, but I find most people don't want masks. They don't like the feeling of being trapped.
Only ones, because I do a lot of like leather and breath play and stuff like that. So I use like heavy duty masks for like deprivation play. So these are masks where it's all about them not being able to breathe, being able to hear, or being able to see. So it's very much about escapism. But Jess is right in terms of, everyday sessions. Many people don't want a mask on because a lot of them are quite scared. But if they've got a particular interest in breath play and sensory deprivation, then yeah, they will want the mask.
Stan Vladimir, a friend of the show. Stan Vladimir, he does all the artwork.
Oh,
Great guy.
Hey, Stan.
If any doms out there, please treat him right. He will respect you. He's very respectful. He's a gentleman, true and true. He asks, what are your thoughts on medical play?
Hello, Stan.
I don't really do that much.
My thoughts on medical play, I can take it or I can leave it.
Yeah.
It's okay for me.
Yeah, I can get a bit squirmish with needles and stuff. So yeah, so that's just me. Like you know, I almost pass out if someone does a blood test on me. So that kind of thing I stay away from.
Yeah, it's similar to me, but it's the other way around. So I'm very squeamish, like you are, with needles, blood tests. That's why obviously I don't have any tattoos and things, but I have got no problem putting needles into people. But it's just not my favorite thing to do. But I do enjoy stapling from time to time, and sounding and things like that, which is clearly part of medical play. But I definitely wouldn't be interested in the severe medical play, which is like infusions and catheters and things like that, and oxygen play, and you know, heavy sort of gas intoxication. Poppers are fine for us, sounding and obviously stapling, but we don't really, we're not heavy into it. No. And there's plenty of ladies in the UK that are into it, so you've always got an option, and it really just depends. And that's what I love about the UK. You've got an option if you want somebody that's strict, that's into you know, office wear, or you know, somebody that's into the heavy rubber, or if you want somebody that's
adult
baby or medical play. You've got something for everybody, and you just go to who you want to go to.
Yeah, it's just not really our major thing.
No.
So I have someone text me. So I guess you're not going to do a testicle shish kebab.
No,
not anytime soon.
You volunteering?
No. Spin Kick fan asks, Miss Jessica, with big bums becoming more fashionable over the last decade or so, have you seen an increase in face-sitting sessions since you started?
Yes, 100%. Like last year, all I felt like I was doing was face sitting, but this year has been a lot more spanking based. So I'm quite surprised about that. So it's the first time I think spanking has overtaken. It's always been the other way around for many, many years now.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. Whereas, all the old people are coming out now, and younger people are getting spanking.
It's good to mix it up, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but definitely an increase. Thank God for that.
Gary123 says, what do you think about barefoot ball busting?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love bare feet because you can get right in there.
Yeah, and you can hear the sound, and it's just a lot more slappier and thuddier. Yeah.
Man Patel asks, I would like to ask both of you, the incredible dominatrixes, what are the most rewarding aspects of being a dom?
Ooh.
I would definitely say sort of the relationships that obviously we have with peers in the community, with other ladies, and also with our long-term subs, because they become like a part of our lives in terms of like cleaning for us and coming around our house and helping us with jobs and things like that. So they almost become like kinky friends, don't they? That's what it's about. We trust them, and we see them occasionally outside session if we need an errand to be run for us. You know, so you do get professional and service-based subs. I've got some that cleans. I know you've got a sissy or two that cleans as well.
Hey, Nicole. But also genuinely helping people, because the amount of people that have said that coming to sessions genuinely helps their lives.
Oh, it does,
And I think it's like being a therapist.
Yeah,
but in a physical therapist.
It helps them in other aspects of their life. It helps them appreciate women. It helps them be more focused on their job. It helps them slow down their ego. You know,
I think I'm a better person because of the kink community. I'm tolerant. I think through things. I think things through more often. I definitely have a an appreciation towards different perspectives of different people, from different cultures and different lives, different class, different all parts of the world.
Open-minded. Yeah.
Open-minded. Yeah. Keep
less judgmental, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I almost don't want to do this, but I gotta bring this up. The Stuart Sternledge, can you two make me submit now on the show for fun?
No.
I'm sorry to say, Stuart. I mean, God,
wasting Nicholas's time.
God loves a trier, but you're going to have to pay for that one, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that one. All right, my friend Miss Cassidy Cream jokes around. She says, "No one with a foot fetish seems to give a good foot massage." Do you agree?
Semi-agree.
Well, we were having this conversation. We had a newbie the other day, and it was his first ever session, and he'd been trying to book with both of us, and then obviously we had a cancellation, and so we got him in, and he was completely clueless. But by the end of it, he was absolutely fine.
But I still, with the massage, I was saying, do it harder, do it harder.
They either go too soft or too slow. You need that medium level.
Yes, I know. Don't cripple us, but like don't feather either. Yeah. So there is definitely a medium thing. And
we're not babies and we're not men, so you need that medium firmness.
Nice circular motion.
When it comes to impact play, I mean, and it comes to kink, your opinions change throughout the years. What's my favorite yesterday is not my favorite today, and probably won't be my favorite tomorrow. So impact play, whips, paddles, floggers, riding crops, the hand, it's all great. They're all wonderful. I love them all. Now, these days, what's your favorite?
Cane. Always the cane.
Mine will always be the cane, although the last couple of years I have got more into the whip as well, so I think the whip is my second favorite now.
I do really love a dressage whip as well. The noise they make, they are magical.
And crops as well. Some good crops out there.
Yes, I just think the image of the riding crop just kind of looks cool. You know what I mean? And it also sounds.
Don't underestimate a good leather crop.
What Axe Dunk asks, what is the most unusual or different activity you have done kink-wise?
Oh, what's the most unusual, different?
I can think of one.
Yeah.
What should I say?
Yeah.
So I once had this guy. I don't know. Did I talk about him before? The guy with the sweets and the ironing board. Does that sound familiar?
Refresh us.
I've had this one. I'm interested.
So he told me that he'd put down hard, chewy sweets on the floor, and I just had to be ironing. So I just got like a tea towel or something, and I was just walking up and down ironing. And so he'd chuck these sweets underneath my feet, and I just have to stand on them and then not react. I wouldn't have to look at him. I wouldn't have to do anything. But then every now and again, it wasn't a sweet, it was his hand. And so that was his true fetish, is that he wanted me to accidentally stand on his hand. But this was the way he got round it, because he didn't want to tell me exactly what he was doing until it came to the session, so that then I would just ignore his hand like it was just nothing. I mean, and he could have told me that in the first place, but that's how he went about it instead. So that was quite interesting. Unusual even.
I had one, I think it was last year, and he was into capes, which was fine. I love hairdressing capes and cape fetish and stuff like that, but I didn't realize what he wanted was that specific, and it was a case of me having to blow into his face and then basically whisper cape, cape, cape. And then he said, I want you to just brush past me with the cape and then blow in my face again and then whisper cape. And I just could not take it serious. I started laughing, and he was like, and he said to me, "You need to."
I'm trying hard now.
And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. But yeah, it was just a little bit fabulous, but a little bit bizarre.
Cape. Wow. Okay.
No,
don't start. Yeah. It'll be in your dreams tonight.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Cape. I'll be waking up. Cape. Sissification. Throughout the years, my attitude to sissification has changed.
We spoke about that
for me, and everyone's fetish is different. I was talking about this before. I find a romance in it. And for me, the kink is not degradation or humiliation. I really find the romance of it.
There's so many different
Yeah,
aspects.
everyone's different. I do not want to degrade women in any way, shape, or form.
No.
That's on me. That's my style.
Equally,
you know what I mean?
if you have got a sissy that wants to be name called, that wants to be covered in cum.
Yeah, there's that too. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
So throughout the years and having the experience you have, you've seen sissies come and go. Has your attitude towards sissification, the whole sissification narrative, the dynamic, has it changed throughout the years?
The only thing I'd say is that I feel that a lot of them can be time wasters, and there has been an explosion in emails.
Fantasists as well, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's off the scale.
Yeah. Will you dress me up and will you put me in panties? And then they never actually book. Which is a shame because there is genuine ones out there. Like you say, you get some that just want to actually just be women for the day. And you treat them exactly how you would treat a friend. And they come round, we have a girly chat, we do the makeup, maybe do a bit of spanking, and then they'll have like, a mocktail or whatever. And they'll take photos and it's all very nicey. And then obviously you get some that want a little bit more degrading. But a lot of them, they see the content online and they want to obviously contact us, but they're not genuinely serious. Sissies have got a bad reputation. And also I say some of them can be quite opinionated for submissives. They can be quite bitchy and opinionated, which I haven't got any time. And I probably have had to block a few sissies over the years online.
Yeah, so I always take it with a pinch of salt when I get emails about, and I'm like,
Believe it when I see it,
Yeah, exactly. Which is unfortunate, but I think maybe it's become more popular over time, so therefore more men want to do it, but then, then those that convert into actually coming to sessions, because I understand that people get scared and it's not always time wasting, they just want to build up to it, but it's hard, isn't it?
They need to make that first step and prove that they're genuine.
I'd look at it this way. If you're a sissy out there, your job is to serve. So serve well. And there's there is a romance to it. There's a romance to serving. There's a romance to serving well, into not wasting time, into showing up, into.
I did a sissy. I spoke to you last time I did a sissy party a couple of years ago. It was an overnight party. And my partner was there helping. He's not into sissification at all, suited switch, but I decided to dress him up because he was the only one with no lipstick and makeup on, and he's got a big beard. And I said, no, you're wearing red lipstick. And he absolutely embraced it because he's like that. And he's got a lot of gay and sissy friends and stuff as well. So he embraced it. And
that's a great attitude.
He ended up spanking some of the sissies. They were loving it.
Oh, that's a great attitude. I'm so glad to hear that. A lot of people deal with shame. And I've asked this before, but now with the holidays, the election, and everything like that, shame plays a major part in the family. So for those out there who are dealing with shame in their family, what advice would you give to them?
Muslim clients and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of shame, especially.
Like I get a lot of Indian guys because apparently, feet is not a thing that they allow to worship in their society. So I get a lot of people just outsourcing their foot worship to me.
Wow. Okay.
I have one guy in particular. He always goes on about, we have an amazing sex life, but I just can't go near her feet. So that's why I come to you.
Really?
Yeah, so it's so that's what I've said for a long time as well, that people just outsource the shameful aspects of their life that they feel that they can't do with their partners because of that reason, and so they just come to us open-minded ladies who will sort them out, and then off they go.
I think it's a lot of shame, and obviously like you were saying, especially in some cultures more than others, and and not even that generational thing as well. I feel like a lot of the older generation, sometimes they feel sort of like, oh, they're too old, or there's a shame in them being too old to enjoy kink.
You're never too old. I'm saying right now, I'm telling you, if you feel you're too old, you're not.
No,
never. Seriously.
Now is young.
The sweet, it does help. Trust me. I look back thinking, oh, if I kinked out more when I was younger, and I kinked out a lot when I was younger, but if I did it more,
You'd rather do it than have any regrets, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm especially like with everything going on in the world and dealing with the transplant, I am glad I took advantage of the moment. I am glad I loved hard. I seriously, I told people I loved them. I expressed myself. I was honest, you know. So if I die, I'm like happy. Like at least I did it. There's so many people out there who didn't. Who it's just a fantasy for them.
Yeah.
Smarak Dash says, what do you like about key holding? And what is the longest you have kept a sub lock?
Have you asked that one?
I did it.
I've already answered that one.
Yeah, you asked
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm on it.
I'm producing the show myself, so it gets like the whole. All right, lifestyle. Was there ever a time you felt burnt out or you felt like you needed to give up on the kink lifestyle? And what changed your mind?
I think definitely you go through stages where you're a lot
very busy,
very, very busy, and that naturally burns you out. And you know, we were talking about this yesterday, like that buzz for wanting to always be busy and obviously earn that income, and there's lots of ways you can make it. And I'm definitely slowing down a little bit in terms of prioritizing my own health and, you know, my vanilla life as well. And, you know, I'd much rather, you know, have more me days, self-care days, go for spa and you know, things like that as well.
Yeah, well, I realized that
in the dungeon.
Yeah, that I wasn't giving myself time to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So last year I put in place I don't do sessions on Monday or Friday afternoons now, so that I could actually go to the gym, because I kept sacrificing my own like health just to do sessions.
Yeah.
And so so I put that in place last year, and I've stuck to it. So yes.
And if you don't have your health, you can't really do the session that you want to do.
Exactly.
The health is the wealth.
Stuart Steinleaf says, what's your favorite role play? Nurse, police, schoolgirl, mortician?
Headmistress.
I was going to say, headmistress is a good one.
Or office boss.
Office boss.
Yeah, they're my two favourites.
They are. But then after that, I do like police officer as well.
Yeah. That is always a good one.
Yeah.
I do like a mean nurse.
Yeah.
But like I mean anything.
The problem is though, when we put the nurses on, they think we do full medical bloody sessions.
Oh yeah.
And they think they're going to come and they're going to be hooked up to all these machines. You know, it's role play based.
That's funny. I do have to say that I've said this before, and I'll say it again, that in the hospital during the liver transplant, I have a new appreciation for the medical fetish.
Yeah.
So I asked you this before, but now you're a dom set. Now you're double. Ultimate kinky fantasy. Let's say you have endless resources. You can go anywhere in the world. You can do anything you want, but you're together. What is the double dom kinky fantasy?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I think probably maybe like having a kinky holiday. You know, sort of like a kinky holiday abroad, or hosting a kinky event where it's more about being served and, you know, relaxing and enjoying ourselves. So, you know, that is, you know,
we need to start one of these. I feel
like a retreat, maybe like a little retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some other questions here. How can people make money? And before you answer, the kink community is huge. Not everyone is as gorgeous as you are. Not everyone has the experience that you have, and not everyone has the subs, the following that you have. But they still want to make money. So how can kinky people make money?
You've got to start somewhere, haven't you? Everyone starts somewhere. So you know, all you can do is get a website, get your social medias, and put yourself up available to do custom videos. You can start loyal fans and OnlyFans,
and even having one-to-one training with you know, a mistress that's quite experienced. You know, I know there is some mistress workshops out there, and just sort of connecting with the community first and getting to know people that can help you and guide you, because that's so important. That you put yourself out there in the beginning, and obviously, you know, in the future you might not need to put yourself out there, but when you're starting out, you definitely need that support in place. Yeah.
Man Patel asks, as they say, BDSM is healing. Can you please share from your experiences how it helped your submissive or your slaves?
It's like what I was saying about earlier, how I have quite a few slaves say how when they leave, and after for the next few days after, they're in this subspace, how everything just feels happy.
It's like a weight has been lifted from
Yeah.
their shoulder, and they feel replenished and they're happy, and the rest of the week is amazing. And you know, it's kind of like, you know, if you go to a gig or if you go to a music festival, and you know how you feel happy and positive, like that is what we do for them. We make them better people, better at their job, better friends, and you know, overall better men, I think.
Yeah. And because, you know, they're getting something that they're not repressing, they're embracing their fetish. It just makes them feel better people. And, you know, and they come to see people like us who don't judge them.
They can offload everything if they want to talk about their fantasies, or even if they want to talk about how difficult their job is at the moment. You know, we are kinky therapists at the end of the day, and you know, sometimes just by talking to somebody that you know, will respect their kinks and not judge them and not kink shame them, that means everything to them. And then, do you know what, actually some people, I've noticed, the more they see DOMs, it makes them open up to friends and things like that over time. Like the more they open up to you, the more they start opening up to their friends. And so actually then they have got a support system in place, and that all comes from the trust that you've installed in them to be open.
But I have definitely got a couple that just talk to me, but I feel privileged in that respect because I'm not a trained therapist.
Some people don't want to tell a soul, you know, that is a thing.
But I just feel it's good that they actually have someone to talk to at all. So
And I think personally, BDSM, like this show, has helped heal me through the transplant. I was sick, and just talking to people, connecting with people. Seeing both of you, I remember, Miss Jessica Wood, I remember being in the hospital trying to schedule like one of our shows together, and I'm like, I got to reschedule. I'm in the hospital, you know. But that, seriously, that gave me hope. To like, oh, there's something to look forward to. There's, you know, and the fact that you two are out there doing it, and like you're successful in doing that, gives me hope. That gives everybody hope.
We see someone, and he's also in and out of hospital with health issues at the moment. And you just know that when they have to take that time out, they really do count down the time until they can see you again.
Yeah.
So,
like you say, someone had to cancel the other day, and so he said, I'm so disappointed to have missed you and looking forward to seeing you both again in June. So gives him something to look forward to.
Definitely.
Now, when it comes to like the double dom session, is there one person generally leading the session, or do you take turns depending on the client? Like,
if the person who's got the client originally, because it's going to be one of us, and so therefore that person will know more about that person.
You kind of follow the lead a little bit. It gets easier if you see that person multiple times, and then you understand their kinks a bit more. But definitely in the beginning, it's really important to sort of follow the lead a little bit. You obviously know what they want, but you don't know how it's going to play out. But once you've seen them a couple of times, like you would at a solo session, you kind of know what they want, and it's quite straightforward.
Oh, just sitting here talking to you, my imagination is going wild, and I'm just thinking, I have to get to the UK.
In the summer, not now. It's freezing, windy, rainy.
Sarah J asks, what would you say is the most popular kink you encounter day to day? And that changes. I'm sure that changes. So these days, what is the most popular kink you encounter? Spanking in
my case.
I think for me, a bit of everything. I do get like corporal punishment, and I do get a lot of CBT and sissification, and I'm really proud of what I've done with my sissification, because it was always something that I just kind of did on the side and I didn't really push. And as soon as I started pushing it, I've just got bigger and bigger with it. And now, clients come and see me from abroad, and you know, that's just amazing that I'm able to reach that many people.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So Stuart asks, what do you do if you catch a guy sniffing your panties and stealing your dirty panties?
You better pay for them.
Clearly in a role play scenario. Therefore they would get punished severely.
That's a classic, yes.
Man Patel asks, how can someone overcome the shame or guilt associated with being a submissive man?
I think they need to realize that being a submissive man is actually about being a good man. And it makes you a better person overall, and it's definitely not a shameful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for seriously, married Lady Louisa, Miss Lady Louisa. Thank you for saying that, because I was thinking the same thing. It was like bubbling up in me. I was like, these
submissive man. There's nothing wrong with being one.
Nothing pathetic. It is. I am proud to be submissive. I am proud to serve.
That don't even associate themselves as a kinkster, but they're just naturally submissive, and they love just worshipping and being submissive to women in their life. So, you know, power to them.
Yeah. Well, if you're really got issues, speak to a therapist.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, we can see your profile picture, Bobby. I think you're a bit of a boob man there.
Yeah. Bobby S says, Miss Louisa, have so beautiful boobs.
I'm looking. No, that I think is
just a fan thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Becca. Doms need good submissives. Use your guilt and shame to honor your sub. See? Sunshine's my key holder. She's putting her 2 cents in.
Oh.
And then, of course, you have Jackson, who wants to clean your washroom. And what do you like both about?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Stan Vladimir asked the Stan question. I'm sure you've been asked this before, but it changes. If you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it in your kink life?
Oh, my days.
Oh, gosh.
I would want to fly, but I can't really use that in a session.
Yeah.
You could like pick subs up out of their job or their family. You could just like pick, like scoop them up, just like fly into their house, just pick them up and
giantess
I
fantasy.
think it would be seeing into the future, so I know what to expect if I've got time wasters coming my way. So yeah, to be able to see into the future, but obviously, it's just a fantasy.
Yeah.
Collected Reader asks, what are your thoughts on ruined orgasms, and do you use that as punishment or as a form of allowable release?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we have done it at some point, but it's not a big thing that we do.
It's not a big thing that I'm not really into the sexual domination side of things. So unfortunately, not really for me, that one.
Okay. Smart Dash, what is the most extreme punishment you have given to a slave? The most extreme. Think back. The most extreme that you're like, damn, I impressed myself.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a severe caning where blood has been up the wall.
Yeah.
And I've had to, I've still got specks that I can't get rid of, and that have gone to my skirting board. Blood is evil to get rid of, I tell you, once it gets onto paintwork. But no, that would have been a very, very, very bloody bottom.
Well, I was saying to you the other day, one of my slaves sort of enjoyed go to an impact party with multiple mistresses, and he got caned, whipped, flogged for like 3 hours, and it was absolutely brutal, and I loved it. And it was an amazing experience for him to push himself further.
His face. 3 hours.
Chaos, absolute chaos. Obviously there were breaks, there were toilet breaks, there were water breaks, there were 10-15 minute breaks, but he did take a lot of impact. Stuart
asked, what's the longest you ever smothered a man?
You'd know.
Well, yeah. That would be longest ever. But he was nearly 4 minutes. That was the record. But most people only last 30 seconds to about a minute. But then I have got quite a few people that can do 2.5 minutes. And obviously longer the better. And I'd stay there all day, but they need to breathe, unfortunately. Yeah, they need better breathing devices.
Yeah, some are better than others. I mean, some you're like, oh my God, they haven't tapped yet. Are they still alive? And then you've got others that just do it straight away. And you're like, oh, come on, stop making me get up and down.
I know, like a yo-yo. Oh, it's so intense on your thighs.
It's a good workout.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Nikon Rashord asks, do you have any conditions on how the sub must conduct himself? Like when he's coming for a session, or should he be fully shaved? Should he wear a certain thing? Should he be shaved a certain way? Should he do this? Should he do that?
Yeah, back to being clean and hygienic, and obviously clean shaven is always a plus, isn't it? Yeah.
It depends, though. I used to say that with for face-sitting, but there's a fine line, right? If they've got slight stubble, that is actually worse than having a full-on beard.
Oh,
because it's softer.
It scratches.
Yes,
and tickles as well.
Yes. So no, like 1-2 what is it? 9 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
You know what? I literally shave every day just in case I am called cunnilingus.
Oh.
In case I'm called for cunnilingus, I shave this.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I serve well.
Exactly.
So, all right. Thanks, man. Patel says, thanks, Nicholas, for this wonderful interview. It was after watching your previous 2 interviews with Jessica Wood, I decided to do a session with Miss Jessica Wood in the UK.
Hi, man. I know who he is. Hello. Thank you.
Okay. Spit Kick fan says, does face sitting attract a younger group of clients on average?
Well, you had an 18-year-old, so it clearly does.
Yes, very much so. Very, very, very much so. I would say, yeah, out of all the younger clients, definitely it's the most popular is face sitting with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever done face trampling or face kicking?
Ooh.
Well, I love trampling, and I've always been into trampling. Some people don't think much of it. Some people do. I got into it and I didn't realise, one, how good I was, because my balance usually is shocking. But I realised, actually, I'm quite good at this, and I was enjoying it, and I love the jumping and stuff like that. I have done severe beat downs, but it's not something I would do now. It's probably something I did when I was a little bit younger and probably not understanding as much about, you know, the person's mental health, you know, and things like that. But obviously, I would always make sure I've got full consent and stuff. But looking back now, there was one guy on the scene in particular that loved having his face kicked in over and over again. And it was getting more and more extreme. I stopped seeing him. I know other people carried on seeing him at the time, but you got to think of brain damage. I don't want to be responsible for somebody getting brain damage. It's okay if it was light, but he was wanting it heavier and heavier. And I just said, I'm not willing to do that. And this is the same person that also wanted somebody to run over him with a car. I mean, if anyone does that, come on.
Please run me. There's a guy, I don't give him any more publicity, but like every time I post something on Twitter, he's just saying he has like a pair of clippers or scissors or something like that. He goes, well, please someone castrate me. I have no idea who this person is.
Well, it's nonsense. I get so many of those emails, and it's okay. What happens then? What happens then? Now you're dying.
What am I supposed to do with this?
With the stapling, so you can tuck it away and make it look like it's castrated. You know, you've got to push it all together like a little package, and then just staple it all up top to bottom. So you can do it, but it's temporary. No one can do permanent castration. There's a lot of fantasists out there, and they're wasting it.
My friend Nico Noir, we do the Sunday show all the time. Her like thing is making manginas. She's really good at it.
Yeah, manginas. Yeah.
All right, we have Gaming Town asks, please sissification tips. We talked about sissification, but let's just say someone calls you up and they don't know what to do. They love the fetish, they love the narrative, everything like that, and they ask you, what are some sissification tips that you can give them?
Shave. I know it's in this day and age that people should be allowed to whatever, but you know, if you want to put makeup on, you've got to have a clean shaven face. I know you might love your moustache or you might love your beard.
Yeah, it's all or nothing really, unfortunately. If you want to embrace it, obviously get yourself makeup and get yourself a little kit together, but more importantly, try and find out about what kind of sissy you are. You know, don't just feel like you see all these pictures online and you want to be a bimbo sissy and you want to be dressed in pink. You might want to be an office sissy. You might want to put
1920s sissy.
Yeah, you might want to be a
flapper.
Yeah, exactly.
So take time to discover yourself before just looking out what's out there. Yeah.
What about a British soccer hooligan sissy? Do they make those?
Maybe.
You never know. There's a kink for everything. Thank you very, very much. Like that. Extreme punishment. What else? We got? A lot of people want to wear your worn panties. What is the most extreme thing you ever made a slave eat?
Cereal mixed with wee.
She's tame. Yeah. She's tame.
I haven't ever done poo.
No, we don't.
Done poo?
We don't do scat. No, I've made a slave eat insects and cockroaches, crickets, and mealworms. They were dead.
You would hope so.
Yeah, but
I know.
I wouldn't do it again. It was a one-off. I wouldn't do it again because I almost ended up being sick myself. it was for a clip that went horribly long because I almost ended up vomiting in the clip, but it was fun at the time before that happened.
Yeah. No, I've just put wee on my cereal and made them eat that like a mean adult baby thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you could even
You know
say
what's
like
funny with when you said weed on your cereal, my mind immediately went to weed, like you put marijuana on your cereal. I was like, I can have that.
She sprinkled.
That's fine.
That'd be an expensive session.
Yeah, right. Nikon asks, have you gone to Club Pedestal?
Oh yeah, but not for years. I can't even, probably at least 10 years I haven't been.
Yeah, I have been a few times, but not in a couple of years as well. Just kind of, moved on from
Universal Soccer asks, do you make sissies do CEI?
Yes, sometimes. I had one on
Tuesday,
actually.
Tuesday. I'm like, comedian instruction. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I had one the other day as well.
Yesterday, technically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Nikon is asking for a bit of audience participation with your creative insight from the magnificent Miss Jessica Wood, Miss Lady Louisa. Nikon asks, mistresses, do you think all subs should kneel some while watching this interview? And that includes you too, Nick.
Oh,
I have kneeled. I've kneeled on rice for this show.
We're not going to be that cruel for now.
No. They might be on concrete.
All right. Have any sissies experienced periods? That's bimenstrual sissy.
Yes. Yeah. I get one to do it, but we get him to put stupid things like jam in his sanitary towels, and he has to walk around like that all day.
Yeah, there's lots of ways of playing around with the fake blood.
Mm-hmm. And PD asked if you have personal slaves and what tasks do you make them do?
I think just talking about like cleaning slaves and getting them to clean for us, getting them to cook for us if we need something
DIY
from the shop, DIY, need them to go and fetch some paint and paint for us, that sort of thing, or if they're handy with a screwdriver, there's always something to be done. And there's also lots of loyal submissive slaves out there that will help you outside of their sessions.
Mm-hmm. Stan Vladimir asked, have you ever had couples come to you for guidance on how to explore kink and BDSM?
Yeah. Not as often as guys, obviously, but from time to time,
Yeah, I had a couple last year, and it was because they both switched, but he wanted her to be more confident with hitting him.
Yeah.
And so it was funny because I was like, we only did start with a slipper, and she had him over the knee, and she was like, tap, tap. And I was like, harder. And I was like, until you hear this noise of the slipper making a perfect, lovely noise, I said, it's not hard enough until you hear that noise. Yeah. And she was so surprised that she could hit him that hard and it would still be okay.
Yeah.
And she kept going.
Confidence, and they think they're very fearful of doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, and she kept being like, are you okay? And I'm like, stop asking him if he's okay.
You don't spank someone and ask if they're okay. So sometimes people just need a bit of guidance. Yeah. And I had a similar request not long ago, actually, for a similar thing where he just wanted to be shown, sort of like how to dominate, really, for me to show his partner how to dominate him, because she had lots of ideas, but she just didn't know how to do it. Yeah.
See, you're helping. Here's a great question by Nikon. I'm a student and I can't afford to attend the session.
It's the oldest. Please, I'm a student.
How else can I be useful to a mistress?
No.
We don't offer student discounts, unfortunately. No. This is not student beans.
I know. Well, what I say, I've had so many of these type of emails recently.
No, it's getting worse.
It really is. And so I say, okay, then just save £25 a month.
Or 20.
Yeah.
At the end of
over
the year.
The time.
Yeah, come and have your session at the end of the year.
That's how you afford a session. And
instead of spending it on going out drinking, put the £20 aside for your session,
because there isn't anything genuinely someone we don't know can help us with, unfortunately. I wish there was, but there just isn't. You need to be able to trust people. I wouldn't just give them access to my clips for sale account and do this for me. You've got to be trusted to be able to do something like that, unfortunately. So unfortunately, no, you just got to save up for a session.
Yeah.
Well, Stuart wants to save up and buy your satin panties, both.
You can. Absolutely. I'm sure
you can.
That, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you like eating while smothering? These guys got a lot of smothering questions.
Oh gosh,
So
okay.
you eat and smother?
Yeah, I have done. I've had lunch. Like people have asked me to just sit there and have my lunch. So someone once got me to order an Uber
Yeah.
when I was in Leeds, and I just sat there eating my takeaway.
I've had this was years ago, but I used to have someone that he used to just come for sessions, so I could be his footrest and just sit all over him, and eat pizza and feed him the crust of the pizza. But this is going back like 10 years ago now, so I don't know if he's still around. But it was the same session all the time, and I just thought it was the best thing ever, because I'm basically getting paid to sit on him, which is a nice footrest, and I'm also getting free food out of it.
It's harder when you're smothering because there's too much movement involved. Again, if they could hold their breaths longer, it would be a whole lot better.
But no,
so what would be the best meal to have while you're sitting on someone's face?
Whatever you fancy at the time. But yeah, something easy to pick up.
Yeah, it's a bit easy to pick up. You're not
sushi.
You're not going to have a steak because you can't cut the steak.
Yeah,
you
no
know,
spag bowl.
No. It's
like a nightmare.
A great sushi,
yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting Smarik Dash says, what are the most amount of kinks you have given to slaves' balls at one time?
A couple of hundred, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I did a video the other week, and that was only in 10 minutes, and I did 100 kicks. So
yeah,
100 kicks in 10 minutes. Wow.
So I don't even know how long I've done in an actual session. Countless.
You get carried away. That's the problem. So it's not easy to count unless that's part of the session. So
yes, I can imagine.
They'll come over and we'll see how many we can do on you.
Yeah.
PD asks, have you ever had a couple and a woman with the woman as a slave? And you ever had women as slaves, and it different from having a man as slaves? Or how is it different from having a man as a slave?
I haven't actually. They've always been together.
I've only ever had experience with people pretending to be a woman slave, which is actually a guy. And she had a thing about used panties, and she just kept on emailing me for years about how she was a female slave, how she wanted to serve me, and how she really liked used panties. And she always used the word pungent. They must be very pungent.
Pungent.
But she did the rounds, so she was going around all the UK DOMs and, pretty sure sort of saying the same thing to everybody. So, I just ignored her. But yeah, I'm sure you do get some, but it tends to be more couples.
I've never, ever had a solo female. I've had lots write to me. Well, supposedly. I said, supposedly. But no single female has ever booked, ever.
No.
Stuart Steinlip says, I submit. You two win. Let me know where to send money. So, with that being said, where can people reach you and send you money and support you and book sessions and everything?
I say obviously Linktree and
our websites. Yeah, our websites are the main point, and then they'll obviously have all the links to everywhere else.
Yeah.
Which you're going to put links up for.
Everybody's got different payment.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right
All right, we got some more questions. Okay. We did that. How can people make money? Oh, the word association game. Now, this is a new thing. This is when we originally started this, right? We did a word association game where I would say a word or phrase. You say the first word that pops in your head. So if I said chastity, you would say lock, right? This is the jar. This jar is filled with stuff that I don't know about. I did not write what's in this jar, but it's all kinks and fetishes, right? Sunshine wrote this jar. So I'm going to pick out a piece of paper, and I don't know what I'm pulling out. Right? So there's that. So I'm going to say a couple ones. You say the first word that comes into your mind, and then I'm going to go to the jar. Okay. So there's no wrong answer. So if I say chastity, you could say lock. But let's say you're thinking about sushi. If I say chastity, you could say sushi.
Yeah.
Right. Well, here we'll make it in order. Who wants to go first? We'll go back and forth. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first. Me.
All right. All right. Let's do it from the top of my head. I'm going off the top of my head too. So we're in this together.
Okay.
Spanking.
Cane. Am I going to say something else?
Oh yeah, no.
Hand.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Oh yes, hand.
Okay.
Okay. Garter belts.
Frilly.
Sexy.
I'm sorry, I stole your thing.
Scarification.
Scarification. Picturesque.
Medical just came to my mind.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's very picturesque for somebody that's into medical play because they'd
Yeah.
enjoy looking at it.
Yeah, no, there's no wrong answer. Like I said, and they're both excellent answers.
No,
Straight jackets.
Ooh, strict.
Restriction. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How? Yeah. You do this one.
Yeah.
All right. Strap-on dildos.
Get fucked.
I immediately thought of enormous.
Figging.
What was that? Sorry.
Figging.
Figging. You go.
Ginger.
Ginger. Yeah.
Ginger.
Yeah, ginger.
Saw.
All right, we're going in the jar. Let's see
Okay.
what's in the jar.
Who did the jar?
Bondage. This is an easy one.
Bondage. Rope.
Restriction.
You do the next one.
Oh, music during a scene.
Oh, it depends on what the scene is, but
One word.
oh, rock.
Oh, dance.
Okay. You know, they make rock dance music.
Yeah.
You know,
I like both.
dance
but
music
yeah.
that has rock elements. Stone Roses have Mondays. Invitation. Tits or S?
Ass.
Yeah, tits.
Ah,
All of each here.
see, that's what I love. You bring balance to the world.
Exactly.
You bring balance to the
Thumbs up.
universe. Bobby.
Exactly. Perfect all round. My one or yours?
Milking machine.
Oh, extract. How do you say it in extraction? No, where you extract
Yeah.
the cum. Extractions, yeah. So extracting the cum through milking machines.
And my one was explosion.
Explosion. Extractions. I've got 2 milking machines, but yeah.
So what's this one?
You have 2 milking machines. You know, that's a big thing with the sissies, this whole sissy narrative. You lock them up in chastity, you make them watch sissy hypno. It's fucking time to a milking machine.
I don't like touching people in sexual ways. So for me, the machines are perfect because the machines do the work, and you know, they get that experience of being on the machines, and they get the control being taken away from them, and you know, you can have ruined orgasms, denial without touching somebody these days. You can do it from a remote control, and that for me is a lot more enjoyable to see them suffer and squirm. So
how often do you use the sissy machines? I mean, how often do you use the
everything has to come back to being a sissy.
Because I keep on thinking of sissies locked up to the sissy machine.
I bet you're in the panties right now, aren't you?
Nah. I am in panties right now. Black ones. All right, that's it. Pet play.
Is it me or you? Me. Is it me? You? Me? You?
I'd say woof woof. I love pet play. I've got 2.
I say oink. Oink.
Yeah.
because I've recently been turning people into piggies quite a lot. I've got a nose, I've got the pig mask, I've even got a pig butt plug. It's like all curly tail.
The square. Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah. So I'm like, oink, piggy.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love my
All right, first, we've been talking about this the whole show. So this is fitting. All right, we're going to go Miss Mary Louisa first, Miss Jessica Wood second. This is one you're very familiar with. We've been talking about this whole thing. First thing that comes to your mind. Face sitting.
Suffocation.
Flattened.
All right. Oh, here's one. Planet Earth.
Why did I think of Alien though when you showed me that? That's weird.
Isn't it?
I was going to say subspace because you go from being in subspace, and I always say at the end of the session, I don't know why I do it, but I always say back to reality. And they're like, oh,
that's your closing.
Yeah, that I'm back to reality. Time to, you know, wrap up the session now. And they're usually like, oh, you know, because especially if it's been like an evening session, and then obviously when they come in for the session, for example, like the other day, it's quite light, and then by the time they leave, it's dark. It's like a bit of a contrast.
Stan Vladimir asked, if you could make your own custom kink toy, what would it be?
Oh, that is a good one.
Mine is a custom fitting face-sitting smother harness.
Yeah.
Because the one I had that someone made me unfortunately broke, and there are no decent ones out there. So I need some person to actually physically make one perfectly for me. That would be amazing. So if there's anyone out there, get in contact.
Yeah.
So a custom fitted face-sitting smothering harness.
Yes.
All right.
So it attaches their face to my bum. And so it has a belt round here, belt round their neck. And so you can literally just walk around the room with them.
Saves you doing the job, yeah.
And you can then hover air on them, and you can, it's a really handy device.
Whilst we're talking about smothering, because I love foot smothering, you know, this foot smothering hoods that you can get, they're all in like plastic or like PVC. It'd be nice to have one in leather. So yeah, there's not many people that advertise leather foot breath masks.
Okay, so let's talk about foot smothering for a second. What is the proper way to smother someone with foot? Is there usually heels first or the toes first?
Yeah. Heels at the eye end.
Yeah.
And then you have to make sure they go nice and close so you get their nose as well.
Yeah. And then you can start off sort of teasing, and then, you know, getting firmer and moving around. But generally it's, you know, taking their breath away with your feet, and you know, teasing them with your feet and toes as well, because a lot of them have a toe fetish, don't they? Yeah.
And the Baroness's slave says, amazing interview, Nicholas. Thank you very much. Does Jessica Wood do water sports?
Yes and no.
Generally, as a thing, I say no. And the only reason because of that is because it gives me such massive anxiety about whether I'm actually going to be able to go for a wee in session that I stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because I just found myself like not wanting to do the session because I'm not going to be able to go. I
think it's really important to talk about water sports, because there's this assumption that you know, it's an average session. It's not an average session, and I have met ladies that can absolutely piss on the spot, and I have been one of those in the past, but it is very difficult, and you have to do a lot of preparation. You can't always guarantee that you are going to be able to produce the golden nectar. Generally, it is easier if it's somebody you know, because you do feel a little bit more relaxed. But even then, it's called stage fright, and that is quite common. So I don't openly advertise it. I'd much rather do it in a way where I can do it from a cup or use a funnel or something, and then feed them. You know, if they're into baby play, feed them wheat out of the bottle.
That's my compromise now, is that I will do either a bottle or a glass of weed beforehand in my own leisurely time. Then I can bring that into the session.
And then there's no pressure.
So I'll do it that way, but I just can't do it straight from the source.
And I do have to say that I love the fact that you call it we. See, in America, we're so ugly sometimes. We say, I gotta take a piss. You know, so
it's not very ladylike, is it?
No wee-wees.
Menstrual Sissy asks, have you ever attended the Femdom Ball in London? Since it's during October, do you think all men attending are wearing a cage?
I never have. Have you?
I have been once, yeah. I would say the majority of them is quite possible.
October. Oh, it's because it's October, isn't it?
Yeah, I do think the majority of them will be. I think it's all about the preference. So if he's with the mistress or you know, female partner that wants him to be locked, then of course he's going to be locked.
He might want it played with though.
Yeah.
So
if he's in long-term chastity, he's going to be locked. But in terms of the protocol, you know, the protocol does not say that you need to be locked when you attend. So therefore, I would imagine, yes, there's a high chance a lot of people will be. And when I took my two slaves, I know one of them was locked at least at the time, because that was what we agreed. So, you know, it's going to be very much depending on the individual.
Okay, we're winding up, but I have to do this. Rapid fire recommendations. We'll start off with Miss Jessica Wood. So I'm going to ask you each to recommend some kind of form of media. So first, recommend a film.
Oh, I probably said it before, but True Romance is my favorite film.
Yeah,
time. Yeah. I just haven't watched any decent other films. I was thinking about it earlier, but yeah, that would be my one.
I honestly can't choose because I'm going through so many things on Netflix at the moment. But I am obsessed with the two guys in America, the two brothers, the Menendez brothers, is it?
Is that a film?
The Menendez brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
anybody who hasn't watched it, free them and watch all of their documentaries.
Okay, recommend a song.
That is a really bad question for me.
We both like Above and Beyond, so
yeah, but they're not songs you could say because I love dance music. So
yeah,
Any song, it doesn't matter. I love all music.
I'm very narrow-minded.
You don't know that. I mean, I'm a raver. So it's like you give me the instant. I'm
George Michael, Too Funky, because
all right.
Dance. I love George Michael. It's very random, but I love George Michael.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So I've loved him since I was 8. And yeah,
Last Christmas,
cried
gave
when he
my heart.
died. I know, that was horrible on Boxing Day. Yeah.
Well, I love reggae music. It's my guilty pleasure since I was younger. Don't listen to it as much now, but I always love a bit of reggae. So probably UB40, I Got You, Babe. I think that's always a good one.
I actually know that. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of reggae, I've been listening to Trojan Records. There's a lot of cool stuff like from the 50s and the 60s, like the
I love it. I love the 60s. Yeah.
the dub, like all the old dub stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, finally, recommend a meal.
Meal. Ooh.
Have you tried any new dishes recently that you can?
What do I like? Red Thai curry, I would say. Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Pea risotto. I've always loved risotto, and I'm gone mad on pea risotto at the moment, which sounds really boring, but it's actually very nice and filling, and it's a healthier option than meat risotto as well. So I'm trying to cut my meat down.
Okay, and then before the final question, Stan Vladimir says, if you could have your own custom-made kink.
We've done that one. Yeah,
we've done that.
Okay.
We've done that one.
Yeah, so that's all right. So we're ending it up. So look, we're all going down this kinky path. We're all looking for something.
Yeah.
Now together, you found each other. The world is seriously the kink world is at your feet. You start off with it. You start off with the UK, and then you go up. America. You go all over Japan. Miss Jessica Wood, Miss Lady Louisa.
Oh my God. I only had time for that. I need a second me.
I feel like they need to come to us anyway, but yeah.
So where do you want? Like, all right, you found each other. Like, you have the experience, you have the knowledge, the intellect. You're both incredibly gorgeous, stunning. What's next? Where do you want your kinky path to take you next?
I feel for me, it's not about traveling loads of random countries and doing sessions abroad necessarily, because like we said, we've both got individuals that will get on a flight to come and see us. So if they really want to come and see you, don't get me wrong, you can see great things along the way, but you've also got your own holidays for that. And we like to focus on the UK tours and Scotland tours and Wales.
Although saying that, I am going to Australia next year, and so I'm going for a holiday, but I'm actually going to have 2 days on the 20th and the 21st of July that I can actually do sessions in Sydney,
which is good.
Yes, and so I've been to Australia twice before.
Yeah.
I actually lived there for a year when I was 22. And so I will be doing that next year, and I'm also going to Berlin for sessions, and that's in the same month, in beginning of 30th of June and the 1st of July. So
Berlin was good for sessions.
Please come on the show and talk about your Berlin sessions in Australia.
Did sessions in France before. I wasn't intending to. I was just going there, and then I ended up doing sessions. So that can happen as well.
Yeah, and so doing those, and then just carrying on with our work as usual.
Yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you? How can people support you? Links. And contact info. What's up? How can people promote
you? Our link trees, because our link trees have our whole list of links.
Obviously websites, link trees. It's got everything in one place, and it saves them having to go for everything.
If you go to X, they're both on our profiles.
If you go to X and then they go to the link tree, and then they've got everything from gift sites, how to contact us, websites, things we do, things we don't do, things we sell, things we don't sell.
And please, everybody, subscribe to Spotify, YKF, Your Kinky Friends on Spotify. We have Patreon, patreon.com, YKF. I have tons of stuff now I can put up. go to yourkinkyfriends.com. And you know what? Buy a book. Read books. The kink community is filled with authors, wild, weird stories of sex and music and drugs and just wild stuff.
Yeah, don't let the book die out. Yeah, definitely.
Don't let the book die out. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Your Kinky Friends. This whole thing is really just to promote this book.
Yeah.
And shout out to my friend who's a really good photographer, and he's on his I think it's the 2nd or 3rd book, and I will be featuring in his book next year.
Nice. Yeah. Have him come on the show.
Yes, I will try and get him for an interview, but he's a bit shy.
Oh.
You can motivate him. You're a dominatrix. You can motivate anybody.
He doesn't like the attention, but he's learning to get a bit more social, I think.
So what would you say for the final thought? How would you like to leave your fans? What statement would you say for those watching or listening out there? They have that kink fire. They have that fire inside them.
Yeah.
They want to let it shine. I want the world to see. So what's your message to them?
Just get in touch with a lady and explain yourself, and don't waste her time, and then all your dreams will come true.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Don't overthink it, don't hold back, just go and do it, go and embrace it, put yourself out there, and don't have any regrets.
The sweetest joy is now. Live for now, because we are not promised tomorrow.
Live in the moment. Don't delay. Book today.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Jessica Wood, Miss Lady Louisa.
Thank you for having us.
When I was sick, seeing you two on and just the fact that I know you, seriously, the fact that I know, made me feel like it was worth it. Seriously, you know what? Another day is worth it. We could do this because there's a whole community out there, because you're doing it. It's wonderful. It's inspiring. And thank you. Thank you for inspiring me, and thank you for inspiring everybody. Support your local kink community. Everybody, don't waste the dom's time. And my motto: be cool, be kind, keep an open mind. Take care, everybody. It's going to be a great week.
See you later, people.